Are you still relying only on stocks or bonds for your retirement? In today's volatile world, that might not be enough. Markets are unpredictable, inflation is eating away at your savings, and traditional strategies are struggling to keep up. That's why you should consider adding Bitcoin to your retirement plan. Bitcoin isn't just a fad, it's gaining traction at the highest levels. Proposals supported by high-profile political figures, including President Donald Trump, suggest growing interest in integrating Bitcoin into national financial strategies. Even Trump, once a critic, now champions Bitcoin's potential. Meanwhile, major institutions like MicroStrategy, BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, and Galaxy Digital are treating Bitcoin as a serious long-term asset. MicroStrategy alone has acquired over 214,000 Bitcoins, worth approximately $14 billion as of early 2025. And with only 21 million Bitcoins ever to exist, rising global demand and increasing legitimacy, Bitcoin offers what traditional assets often can: a hedge against inflation and significant growth potential. In this video, we'll explore why Bitcoin deserves a small place in your diversified retirement portfolio, its benefits, the risks to watch for, and how to get started even if you're new to crypto. Inflation is quietly destroying the value of your savings. That $100,000 you've set aside today might only be worth $60,000 or less in 2 decades. Pensions are becoming rarer, and those that exist are often underfunded. Meanwhile, fixed income investments offer returns so low they barely beat inflation. And what about retirement accounts, like pension funds or private investment plans? In most countries, they're heavily tied to traditional markets like stocks and bonds. Bitcoin isn't immune to volatility. Its price can swing sharply in the short term, but it's fundamentally different from traditional assets. It isn't controlled by any single economy, government, or central bank. That makes it a unique asset, one that offers diversification, inflation resistance, and long-term growth potential when used wisely. Bitcoin is unlike any other asset. It's scarce, only 21 million will ever exist. This makes it resistant to inflation, unlike fiat currencies, which can be printed endlessly. It's decentralized and borderless, not tied to the performance of any one country or economy. Bitcoin is born digital and can be accessed globally. All you need is an internet connection. Over the past decade, despite price swings, Bitcoin has outperformed nearly every traditional asset class. And now, institutional interest is helping to stabilize and legitimize it. Bitcoin's legitimacy reached a new milestone in 2025 when, on March 6, the President of the United States, leader of the world's largest economy, signed an executive order officially establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and a US digital asset stockpile. This wasn't just a symbolic gesture. It was a bold policy move that signaled the government's recognition of Bitcoin as a strategic national asset. For the first time, the US formally positioned Bitcoin within its financial reserve strategy, reinforcing its value not just as an investment, but as a cornerstone of future economic resilience. This landmark decision elevated Bitcoin's status globally and cemented its role in the evolving digital financial landscape. Other countries are already ahead of the curve. El Salvador made Bitcoin legal tender, launched the Bitcoin Volcano Bond, and continues regular purchases. Bhutan has quietly mined Bitcoin using renewable hydroelectric power. The Central African Republic has embraced Bitcoin as a hedge against currency collapse. Argentina's leadership is becoming more crypto-friendly amid economic reforms. In nations like Russia, Iran, and parts of China, entities are increasingly involved in Bitcoin mining, often as a hedge against sanctions and dollar dependency. 2024 marked a major milestone: the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs in the United States, making it easier for retirement funds, pensions, and institutions to gain exposure to Bitcoin. Firms like BlackRock, Fidelity, and VanEck launched their own ETFs, unlocking access for millions of traditional investors. Institutional demand surged, and while exact numbers vary, it's estimated that hundreds of thousands of Bitcoins were absorbed into institutional custody, driven largely by ETF inflows. This shift matters for individual investors. If entire countries and the world's largest financial institutions are preparing for the future by securing exposure to Bitcoin, shouldn't individuals consider doing the same to protect their own retirement savings? Getting started with Bitcoin doesn't require advanced knowledge or complicated tools. All you need is to open an account on a trusted cryptocurrency exchange like Coinbase, Binance, or Kraken. Once you've signed up and verified your identity, you can begin buying Bitcoin in small amounts. A helpful strategy is called dollar cost averaging, where you invest the same amount regularly, weekly or monthly, no matter what the price is. This helps reduce the risk of buying at a high point and makes your investment more stable over time. Buying Bitcoin is just the first step. Storing it safely is just as important. It's not a good idea to keep large amounts of Bitcoin sitting on an exchange, because exchanges can be hacked or have technical issues. Instead, you should move your Bitcoin to a secure place, like a hardware wallet such as Ledger or Trezor. You can also use a non-custodial wallet where you control the private keys. That means only you can access your Bitcoin. Like any investment, Bitcoin does come with risks. Its price can go up and down quickly. Some countries have different laws or regulations about how Bitcoin can be used or taxed. And if you don't store your Bitcoin properly, there's a chance it could be lost or stolen. But these risks can be managed. By learning how Bitcoin works, using secure wallets, and staying updated on local rules, you can protect yourself. Bitcoin isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a long-term investment that works best when added to a well-balanced retirement plan. The way the world thinks about money is changing. Digital assets like Bitcoin are becoming a regular part of financial planning, not just for individuals, but also for companies and even governments. By allocating even a small portion of your retirement savings to Bitcoin, you're adding a powerful tool to your investment portfolio. Be sure to do your research, gain knowledge about Bitcoin, and consider including it as part of your overall saving strategy.